everyone, welcome to another YouTube painting process video. This time around I'll be showing you the process for my Victor from Deadlock fan art, and as usual I'll be going over a topic when it comes to art. Now this time around I'll be talking about the idea of being self-delusional. Now obviously, when it comes to self-delusion, your first thought would be something like arrogance and maybe in a more innocent sense, confidence. But there is going to be some benefits to having a self-delusional mindset, and I'll be explaining that throughout this video. So, obviously, when you hear that, it sounds really bad, and I completely understand. The first thing, like I said, is that people will associate with arrogance, which is a bad trait to have. You might be not self-aware about your own capabilities. You might not be able to see your own mistakes. And without seeing your own mistakes, you won't be able to self-improve. But what I find, especially when it comes to younger artists, and I remember when I was younger, is that they're often so far away from the delusional mindset that they start thinking that they're just not capable, and that's where artist block can come from, where you become, again, analysis paralysis, like something I've talked about in previous videos. So I want to make an argument for self-delusion, or at least a little bit of it, so that you will be able to use it to your advantage. You have to understand that what we're doing when it comes to drawing and painting is a very, very hard skill to learn. You're essentially grinding so many hours just so that you can even draw a good stick figure when it comes to art. And if you are starting out, it is a very daunting task to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that may stop a lot of people from even trying to get through the tunnel. And this is where self-delusion comes in, and why moderating a little bit of self-delusion will help you. You need to be able to tell yourself that you are able to do something and you are good enough for it. As usual, this is something that I learned from martial artists and meeting professional fighters and that sort of thing. You have to understand, when it comes to any skill that takes a massive amount of time and the ceiling for the skill cap is very high, you need to be able to know that you can reach that point. So a fighter who's going through the grind, they're going to the gym every single day, they're getting beat up, they're beating other people up, they're getting their arm wrangled and that sort of thing every single day. It's very hard on the mental to be able to sustain that over many years of practice. Now, of course, we're drawing and painting, so we're not getting hit in the head and that sort of thing. But the same rules apply. It takes a massive mental toll. Even now for me, if I do something for hours, like painting that I was very confident in, and it doesn't turn out well. For video gamers out there, this is also known as being tilted. When you're losing games, constantly losing, and you feel like nothing is going right, but you want to keep going despite that, thinking that it's only going to get better. In fact, that sort of mindset of keep going can actually help you. Now, I'm not suggesting that you want to repeat the same mistakes over and over again, but you need to have the self-delusion that you are able to improve upon your mistakes immediately, so that you don't hold yourself up from moving forward. And that's the key. Just like how a fighter needs to tell themselves that they can be UFC or boxing champions in the future, very long future, just like how a video gamer who's losing 10 in a row is going to queue in the next game and they're going to get that win the next game. You need to tell yourself that you can be the best version of the style that you're going with when you are an artist. It sounds delusional, but again, it will help you so that you don't feel so down on yourself when things go bad. I will give you my personal story on how I apply this. It is something that is rather secretive to me, and I don't really tell people this, but I'm going to say it here in this video. When I draw, and the reason why I draw so much is because I am self-delusional enough to believe that I can be one of the best artists in the world. Now, of course, that sounds ridiculous, and I know in my head it's also a very ridiculous statement to say, knowing that art is subjective and there's no real objective quality when it comes to gauging who's the best artist in the world and that sort of thing. But just like a fighter, I am thinking in terms of, let's say you want to win that championship belt. Now imagine if art had a championship belt. That's the mentality that I like to force myself to think about. If there was a championship belt, I am working and aiming to get that belt in art. It is non-existent. Everybody's championship belt probably means something different for them, what their goals are in their art careers, whether they want to be an art hobbyist or they want to be a professional, and in what field and what style and that sort of thing. There's so many variables, but point being, you need to tell yourself there is that championship belt at the end of the tunnel. And if you know that you can get it, you are good enough to get it, you are self-delusional enough to get it, then you are more likely to want to reach that goal, and you will more likely to move forward from your mistakes, that you don't hold yourself too hard when things go bad in your drawing and painting days. No matter what, there will be bad days. There will be days, even now for me, where nothing is going right. All my paintings, all my drawings are just not working. No problem. Like I said in other videos, take a short break, wake up, and move forward. You need to at least tell yourself that it's just something of a little hump on the road. You can move forward. You will get that championship belt at the end, as long as you put in the time at the gym. And honestly, what I find that with a lot of amateurs and beginners is that they aren't putting enough time in this craft. They're not respecting it, or they're not respecting themselves. They're not putting enough confidence in themselves to be able to reach that, so they just stop for some reason. And of course, I'm not blaming people who have full-time jobs and that sort of thing. Obviously, let's be a little bit more careful when it comes to that. But like I said, you need to be able to put the time. You need to keep your mental high when it comes to this craft, because it's going to take a lot of time, no matter how much talent you have or you think you have. You have to be self-delusional enough that you think you will be the champion of your style. Anyways, thank you for watching. As usual, like this video, subscribe to this channel, check out my socials in the description below. Here's Victor from Deadlock, The Final Piece. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.